Hello, this is the Surviving Healthcare Podcast, and I have my friend Brandon here who is going to introduce us to the world of AI video, which is remarkable. And we do a lot of examination of fake media and fake this and fake that on surviving healthcare. And Brandon is an expert at doing video that looks real. So, Brandon, take it away and tell us about things.
First off, thank you guys for even tuning in. My name is Brandon Patino. I've been in digital media for about 15 years across graphic design, video editing, and a lot of different projects. 5 years ago, I decided to delve into creating my own video agency to help clients and different companies create video content. And 3 years ago, something really extraordinary happened. AI started progressing really aggressively and got clients coming to me saying, hey, Brandon, we want an AI animation. We want it made with AI to push the visuals. And that's really my whole thesis with generative AI media, is it's not really here to replace us, but it's here to enhance our skills and enhance our creativity.
Brandon is a man of many virtues, and one of his virtues is he has a Guinness Book of World Records, which he's going to tell us about.
I really love to just be very athletic, very fit. And so my record here is for the most claps performed in a single push-up achieved on June 2025. The record here is 4. And
oh my gosh.
So that's what my Guinness World Record is for there. I'm just an athlete that really likes to train hard, work hard, and that's kind of how we started talking. You know, Robert and I really met first from the climbing gym, and I saw you climbing a route over there, and I was like, hey, man, what's up? What are you working on?
Brandon is climbing his way up the grades, and I'm climbing my way back down the grades.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. We probably talked for like a good hour or two, talked a little bit about surviving healthcare, your business, a little bit about my business, AI media, that kind of stuff.
Brandon told me before we started that he was going to get me a video of a flying saucer going through the trees and crashing on Earth. It looks real.
So let's take a look at that then, because this is one of the parts that I'm talking about, where we're not using AI to replace our creativity. We're using it to enhance our creativity. So let's take a look at this shot right here. This is a 5-second clip of a UFO just crashing down the mountain. And so I want you to think about how much CGI and how much money that would have taken in Hollywood to produce something like that. At least 3 to 6 months of like dedicated work. But this only took us one prompt here.
So that was the entire prompt is 2 lines there, a line.
Literally, it's just 2 lines of text.
That's incredible. So you're full time at this. You make money on it.
Yes. Yeah. This is everything I do for the last 5 years, is just running my video agency, helping clients with a variety of video projects, animations, book trailers, that kind of stuff. Speaking of book trailers, I also made this book trailer for Robert using AI. So we've got a few different images for a book cover that were all designed using my AI image software. And then using that, we also built out this video.
You trust the system with your life. But what if the largest industry in America is designed to keep you sick? For 3 decades, one veteran surgeon watched it happen from the inside. Now, he's breaking his silence to expose the medical cartel's darkest secrets. He's exposing the pharmaceutical conveyor belt that trades your long-term health for a lifetime prescription. He's calling out the routine scans pumping toxic, heavy metal dyes into your bloodstream. And he's revealing the unnecessary, big-ticket surgeries designed to drain your wallet. The system profits off your ignorance. Stop being a pawn. Arm yourself with the truth.
You got to use that.
Yeah.
That's good. How long did it take to make that?
This took maybe a few hours to put everything together.
I think what some of the listeners are thinking is, how do we discover what's real and what isn't?
So when it comes to spotting like fake stuff, man, it's so hard nowadays, honestly. You want to look for the skin. The skin looks too smooth. The edges look a little too smooth and blurry sometimes. Yeah. Voice is actually something that I hear a lot of for AI. So there's usually an undertone of like metallic roboticness to the voice. That's AI. So I think that's probably one of the first tells you want to focus on is the voice, how it sounds. But even then, like if someone's a really experienced video creator, I think there's probably room for them to get away with making the AI look more real.
Now, what is this?
So this is another video that we made here. Everything is 100% AI.
This guy's not a person, it's an AI.
Correct.
Wow. But lip syncing is great.
It's fantastic. And that's something we could not have done last year.
That's wild.
I think lip syncing last year was probably one of the biggest difficulties, and coming into 2026, it's just become mastered. As you can see there, it's really fluid.
Oh, it's great. It's that the ones I watch on YouTube are often not very good.
Yeah. And so that's where it's still a skill, because there's still a lot of like post-production that comes into this, between splicing, pacing, cleaning up our audio. Like, it's really just become a way to level up as a video editor, is what I would say. It's,
You put in the time.
yeah, if you put in the time, especially if you're already a video creator or someone who makes content and you're used to making images or videos, at least a little bit,
Right.
this really just levels up your skills very easily. I think that's what's really maybe interesting for your audience here, is that this is something that you don't have to be an absolute pro to start creating some type of images, whether it's for your book or even for blogs. A lot of bloggers use images to make their content more appealing, stand out a little more, or even short video clips. And so this type of skill is something that once you learn, it takes maybe 5 minutes to just hop in, make an image, and throw it on your article. And so this is for Louis Vuitton ad you're working on back over here.
I've been so busy lately, but honestly, that lipstick changed something. It's not the dress.
This is yours?
Yes.
It's not the perfume.
Oh my God.
Wear it like you mean it.
Oh my God. And that's your AI.
Yes. So in this example, it's a lot of AI GC. Obviously, these aren't real people, right? We're talking about this whole podcast.
Yeah.
It's all AI. Everything you've seen here is AI. So he's not real, she's not real, but everything looks real. Where I would say that I do use more realism is when I'm working with a company that has a product. For example, over here, we were working on more of a product photo shoot. So they've got this drink holder, right? And so we needed to basically make a image where we have the drink holder and we've got a actual can there to just put their product in a real use case. Now customers can start to see what their product actually does. And so to create this, I pretty much just had this prompt here. This one's a lot more detailed.
That's it?
Yeah. So this is the entire text prompt. And then we use this as the reference image. So this is a real product image from their product,
Oh, I see.
combined with this prompt to create this image of
Wow.
the liquid death can on the jet ski in a.
It's amazing.
So this is part of what I do, is helping companies with pretty much just creating like advertisement, product images, all types of stuff. And it's just really exciting for me because it's pushing the boundaries of what's possible with video creation, media creation. There's still a lot of creative input. You need a lot of human input still to create something good.
So is most of what you do video or single images like this?
Mostly video. So even something like this, we end up animating it. Yeah, like we have the Modelo, I think. So this is more of a niche use case. I have a lot of different projects and clients that I work with. So this is specifically for a product that for more of a service. This is also one I really like. So this was more for a collagen brand for a straight product. So we took a picture of their product and we just threw it into Google Flow, is what it's called. And it made this title card for us. This was an entire skit. The whole video is 45, 60 seconds long, and there's a lot of different scenes happening here. So for example, we can even make them talk.
You ever try them raw? Nah, you got to be careful with that. You got to get them fresh, straight off the rock face. Otherwise, they get all rubbery.
Is that an AI generated voice or is that
Yes,
somebody's
and
voice?
So everything you're seeing and hearing right there is 100% AI generated. Same with this one. So it's just part of the skit. Basically, this lady's on a horrible date with this guy, and he's talking about. So when we get the prompting really dialed in, this was a long prompt. We get some really incredible outputs where it's literally acting, it's speaking, it sounds good, it looks pretty good. I'm not sure if you're spotting any visual glitches there.
I didn't see it.
There's another concept I want to demo to you here. This is one of the videos. It's really just focused on pushing the visual.
Magic.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really proud
That's
of
yours?
this. Yes.
That's
There's
great.
Patino I made.
How long did that one take?
So surprisingly, this only took him a weekend.
Wow.
It took him like 2 days. So this is one of our advertisements to just showcase what's possible. Again, we really want to just push the creative visuals to the maximum. And this is a really great case where to make something like this would have needed a huge Hollywood studio for. And now we can just create it in a weekend through our tools.
So it's really only a 3-year thing that this stuff was so readily available.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say it's been good for 3 years. It started 3 years ago. And back then, the best we could do was animation because it wasn't real. Everything real just did not work.
Yeah.
And then last year, it started to just continue improving. Every year, it's gotten better. And now we're at a point where it does really complicated motion really well. This is something that never would have worked last year or the year before.
So, well, let's get to the important stuff. What level are you climbing in the gym?
I love the cave climbs. And it's really exciting to me because I end up going upside down, like literally. And so it builds a lot of core strength to be able to climb in the cave, and especially pushing like V5s. Anything V6 and above is like straight up superhuman level.
You've got to jump off too. How far do you fall from the top
Yeah,
of the thing?
I think they're about 15 feet.
Yeah, it's you got to be careful. So you guys are going to get to see one of the features of this gym, and they've got about 7 or 8 auto belays, which is absolutely fantastic. They allow kids that are 4 or 5 years old here to climb unsupervised, and all the kid has to do is clip the thing into the harness, and the carabiner snaps shut in a way that can't be opened, and the little kid can do whatever he wants, and if he falls off, he's lowered carefully to the ground. So it's remarkable improvement in a climbing gym. And so I just stick to the auto blaze because my feet are shot. I've broken my feet rock climbing outside, and I don't want to get injured worse. And Brandon, you're at what level? 5'11" plus.
Yeah, probably like a 5'11", 5'10" Cs, honestly.
And how long have you been climbing?
On and off for about 5 years.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
say.
At this place?
Yes,
And have you climbed outside?
a little bit. It's maybe not my thing.
Right. This is interesting. Brandon's part of a new breed of climbers that don't give a darn about outside climbing. And we only climbed outside because we didn't have any gyms. So he's got hands that are strong, and they look like they've grown a little bit. Your hands grow as you climb, and the tendons and everything get thicker.
Interesting.
So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Gradual. You can see I've got a little deformity of these joints from putting them in cracks. And
That makes sense.
yeah.
I would say I hear you on the part of being a new breed of climber that just sticks to the gym. And I think that's probably one
It's
thing
fun.
that's drawn me a lot to
Yeah.
rock climbing is that it is just indoor gym, and I can treat it like any type of other workout. I've replaced my main gym with rock climbing when I'm training for Spartan races or anything like that. Like rock climbing is always my go-to. It gets me through all of the obstacles and that kind of stuff.
Tell Lynn Hill, who you've heard of, was able to beat everyone for years in those obstacle races they held in San Diego. And the reason is the climbing just supplies so much fitness.
Yeah.
And if you're able to do that full time like Lynn did outside, I mean, you're fit beyond any imagining.
I agree.
But here we can go for 2 hours and get a heck of a workout.
Yeah.
We don't have to desert our
We don't
our
have to be all
jobs.
the time
Or,
in it.
yeah, we don't have to be full time. We don't have to live in the dirt,
Live in the chalk.
live in the chalk. So one of the things that Brandon told me a couple of climbing trips together over here is that he read my tattoos post and was horrified because he's got some tattoos.
I'm fully tatted over here, and I'm always talking to this guy, and I'm like, dang, is this what he's thinking while I'm talking to him?
No,
about,
I'm
like,
not critical.
business?
It's 40 or 50% of the population now. It's amazing. 1% of your body is the area of your palm. So what percent do you think you got tattooed? Is that it?
So I've pretty much got up here on this arm, and then I've got one here, and that's it.
So you're less than 10%. And the thing you have to realize is you can't remove them because when you remove them, this stuff goes into your bloodstream.
Yeah.
Those are not the most toxic kind of tattoos. They're blue. So they're pretty well recognized to be relatively benign. So I didn't mean to discourage you around your tattoos.
No, that's okay. That's completely fine. I mean, either way, I chose to get these, right? And like, my whole thing is, as like a designer, I think that's what's really special about my tats to me is I've designed each one of these.
You did.
Yeah, I did everything in Photoshop over the years. including like this one, the text that's on there, all of it's like personally designed to me so that there's real meaning to all my tattoos. And I think that's probably why most people end up regretting it. They don't have a lot of meaning tied.
So I asked Brandon whether I should do like Casey Neistat and become a sunglass, and he said we'd have to think about it.
Gotta think about it.
Yeah, I don't think he thinks I'm cool enough to do it, to pull it off.
The sunglasses look pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the sunglasses are cool, but not me.
You're pretty cool.
Pretty cool is the best he can do. Let's introduce our cameraman, and we'll see if the audience can see whether he's real or avatar.
Are we going to change me into AI later?
Cameo.
Yeah. Cameo. Hello.
Hello, everyone. And so tell the audience a little bit about your background and just a little more about it.
Of course. Yeah. I used to, back when I was young, when I was in high school, I used to lift weights a lot. Really, just like Brandon, I was like really wanted to be an athlete, wanted to be really active.
You were a kid, right?
Back when I was in high school, back when I was young. And then one of my friends introduced me to rock climbing. And then I was climbing for a while. It was really fun. And that's where I met Brandon. And then that's how we were able to set this up. Rock climbing, I feel like it's a different way to work out. And it's just super fun. It really gamifies the way that you can work out through the grades and stuff like that.
I like that. I like the word gamify. And it's also just pretty social. I feel like I meet a lot of people here. People are smart here. They have businesses. They're athletic. They have goals. They're driven. I think that's maybe something that we haven't even touched on about the benefits of rock climbing and the mental aspect of all.
For sure.
We delude ourselves and say it's intellectual. This is a networking little society downstairs of dozens of different social groups. And it's a lot of fun to get to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, not only a great way to work out, but again, to network, socialize, meet a bunch of great people.
It's a strange point in your life when your best friends are 6 or 7 years old. One of these friends in a group of 3 came up to me and said, "I know why you're shaking. You're afraid." And so I admitted that it was true. Actually, the truth is, I have Parkinson's. This is not as hard as the ones that Brandon and Chris just climbed, which are hard 510 and 511. This thing is 5'7", which is much easier. And in the kind of shape that I'm in, I'm happy to be able to do it. These days, I say that I'm climbing my way back down the grades as opposed to Brandon and Chris, who are climbing their way up the grades. Brandon displayed some true climbing abilities just a few minutes ago when he climbed the other one. Serious rock climbing in the United States was practiced almost exclusively outdoors for most of the 20th century. And with the advent of a sticky rubber shoe in the early 1980s, things began to change. This and the opening of the first climbing gyms, the first one was 1987 in Seattle, it changed the scene entirely. The gyms brought climbing communities together and enabled a path towards consistent conditioning. They now sometimes have 50 or 60-foot walls, elaborate overhanging terrain, dedicated training areas with weights, yoga studios, and cafes. Hangboards, which we will demonstrate, allowed systematic strength conditioning of the hands and forearms. The trick is to do about 6 8 to 12 second sets of hanging and do this 2 to 3 times a week. This improves hand strength dramatically. The campus board, which Chris demonstrates, was developed by a German climber, Wolfgang Gulick, and you can see Chris demonstrate the technique on the easiest campus board in the gym, where he makes dynamic techniques to advance using only his fingers.